Welcome to A Gallen of Questions. My name is Pat Gallen, and today we have a very special guest here in our studio. She's one of the greatest divers in the world. She won a silver medal at the Paris Olympics in synchronized diving, and now Philly is home, because why wouldn't it be? Kassidy Cook is here with us. Hi, Kassidy. Thanks for coming in.
Hi, thanks, Pat. Thanks for having me.
This is a lot of fun. So the first question I always ask is, like, how do you become what you are? You know, like, how do you become an Olympian? Yeah. Take us through that process, because I'm guessing, like, the commitment is ridiculous. The focus, like, how it affects life. So yeah, because I want to become an Olympian one day. So how do you become one?
Well, I started with that dream at a very young age. You might be a little late to start, but hey, never say never. I've had Olympic aspirations since I was 5 years old. I grew up in a really big family, and my mom put us in a ton of sports when we were little, just to kind of keep us busy. So I'm one of 6 kids, and diving was one of the sports that my older siblings did.
Okay.
And so I was kind of raised on the pool deck, going to their competitions. And as soon as I was old enough to swim, I started diving. So that was about 3 years old. And the first Olympics that I remember watching and where I kind of remember the dream being born was the 2000 Olympics that were in Sydney. There was a female diver named Laura Wilkinson who won gold, and it was a total Cinderella story, like so unexpected, and I thought it was super inspiring. And after that, I became obsessed with the Olympics and the Chinese divers, who are infamously the best in the world.
Sure.
And so my mom said I used to go to bed like at 6 years old and be like, "Do you think the Chinese are still practicing?" It just became like an obsession for me. And
yeah.
I didn't know if I wanted to do it in diving or soccer or softball. I did a bunch of different sports, but I knew that I wanted to go to the Olympics one day, and I would do anything it would take to get there.
When did you break away from the other sports and just focus?
8th grade.
Eighth grade, yeah.
So funnily enough, I actually didn't like diving that much when I was younger. I wanted to play soccer.
Okay.
But for some reason, I think it's because I'm a little fearless and I was a little wild child, that I was really good at diving at a young age. I think most people are scared to like jump off of tall things and flip.
I'm 40. I can't even dive. You were 3 years old and you had it down.
Yeah. So I guess that sense of like fearlessness in me is what made me excel at an early age.
Yeah.
And so my parents, now looking back, I know they were right. They're like, you have more potential in diving. Like, there's a million good soccer players in the world. There's not that many good divers. I was burning the candle at both ends at a young age, but you have a lot of energy when you're a kid.
Sure
so
do.
I was able to I remember I would pack my backpack for school, and I would pack my diving clothes in my backpack and then my soccer clothes in my mom's car. And like, she would pick me up from school. I would change into my diving clothes in the car. And then after diving practice, she would pick me up. I would change out of my diving clothes into my soccer clothes.
Yep.
But as I got older, I knew I had to pick one, and I went with diving.
It's interesting because I just had a world-class lacrosse player. His name's Michael Sowers. He plays for both professional teams here in Philly, and he grew up playing all these different sports, mostly football and lacrosse, but he said they all made him a better lacrosse player. I mean, do you subscribe to that notion that like playing all these sports is important? Because I feel like kids now, they just go down one narrow path so early in life. I
agree. I think doing multiple sports when you're younger is very important.
Yeah.
I think it builds a well-rounded athlete. And not only that, but I think it decreases your risk of burnout. Like, if you're only focusing on one sport your entire life, like, you're going to start to like hate that sport as a kid, especially as you get more stubborn and into those teenage years. And so I think it's really beneficial to try multiple sports, not only for athleticism, but for your like mental health and making sure that you don't burn out too quickly. So you started to go down that path at 8th grade. When do you think you knew, like, the Olympics are a possibility? Like, I could actually do this? I think it started to become a reality when I was 14, so a freshman in high school. That's when I made like the senior national team, and I was the youngest person on the team by a couple of years. Yeah. And I was doing synchronized diving then as well. And my synchro partners were actually 10 years older than me. So I was like, wow, like, and they were Olympians themselves. So I was like, okay, I'm starting to hang with the big dogs. This is a reality.
The old heads.
And so, yeah, that was like kind of the moment where I was like, this, like, I can do this. And, you know, it took a couple trials and tribulations to get there. But, yeah, like, I saw potential at a young age, and I just chased after it. So doing it at such a young age, how does that, like, affect, you know, because you don't have the normal routine of a high school kid. You had to sacrifice, I'm sure, quite a bit. So what's that like, knowing that, you know, you got friends doing this over here, but I'm locked in here? Yeah, I mean, I had to miss out on a lot, but I also was raised to have balance in my life. So a lot of people in my sport would be homeschooled and, just train all day. But my parents always emphasized like education and having a social life. So I actually went to public school.
Oh, cool.
I would just, wake up early, practice before school. And then I built really great relationships with my teachers and my principals. And so I was able to, get dismissed early so that I could go to practice, and I would miss a ton of school because I had to travel around the world on the senior national team, and like I think I've missed like 40 days, which is like illegal, like it's like truancy or whatever. But because I built such great relationships and my family did really well throughout the high school sports. I had really great support system, so I was able to kind of have a normal teenager life while also traveling the world and competing for our country.
That's really cool. It's hard to strike that balance. So
yeah,
kudos
for
to
sure.
you and your parents for doing that. So 2028, Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Are you getting asked that question a lot? Like, do you think you're going to come back?
Yeah, that was like probably the first question people ask you after you're done competing.
Right
so like
away.
after I got off the podium, they're like,
Right.
So 2028? And I'm like, can I just enjoy this moment for a second?
Need a breath.
No, but it's definitely on my mind. I've been on a break from diving since the Olympics just to give my body some rest. I've had like quite a few injuries, and I feel like I'm at an age and like a maturity level where I can take time off and return to the sport. So I'm not counting myself out quite yet. I think home Olympics is a really special opportunity that doesn't come around very often. So I think that like I would be upset if I didn't at least go for it.
Would it be with Sarah? Would you only do it if it was Sarah? Or do you think it's such a perfect union?
I know, right?
Cooking bacon.
You can't.
It doesn't get better.
Exactly. You can't pair a better two last names together. I would ideally, yes, I would like to do it with Sarah. But you never know. Like we're both on breaks right now, so we text occasionally, like watch some competitions, and we're like, I think we could still do it.
Yeah.
But right now, we're just going to enjoy life and catch up on a few things that we've missed over the last few years.
The synchronized stuff to me has always like just blown my mind because it's not just about you. So you've also got to kind of worry about the second person and getting it right. Like how much the mental focus to me is what always stands out. Like how focused you have to be while you're up there. Of course, you're in the Olympics, like you're used to it, but reliant on someone else brings in a whole other element to it.
For sure. And that's where I think me and Sarah's relationship really benefited us.
Yeah.
We've known each other since we were little girls, and she's been one of my best friends in the diving world since then. And I just trust her so much. Like we train together. We have a great relationship outside of the pool. And I think when you have that like unwavering trust in one another, you're able to just focus on what you need to do, and it kind of takes the pressure off. And that's not always the case for synchro teams. Like it can get a little bit dramatic, or there can be some tension because a lot of people also compete individually against one another.
Yeah.
But because we have such great chemistry as divers and as friends, I think that really like showed in our performance.
It absolutely did. You get a silver medal because of it. So you'll make your decision when? You get like a year plus or something like that?
Yeah,
like,
probably before the summer of 2027 is when like I would want to give myself at least a year.
Yeah.
That's what I've typically done in the past. Like I've taken breaks. I've had 7 surgeries. So just like a lot of wear and tear on the body and points where I didn't know if I was going to be able to do it again. But like always even when I said I was done, 1 year out from the Olympics, I'm like, I'm going to go for it again.
So where does F45 come into play and Pilates now? Is that your routine to stay fit?
Yeah. So, I mean, Pilates was something that I had been doing since I was like 12 years old, just for flexibility and mobility and diving. It was something that our coaches had us do on the side.
Sure.
And now I'm a coach. So recently started working at a studio in Fishtown called FS8. And then it's a sister gym to F45, which has been around for a while now. I started coaching there in 2020 during COVID when I was living in Texas. Just everything was shut down. Competitions were canceled. Like it gave me another outlet to put my energy and like passion into. And when I moved here, I joined an F45 in Northern Liberties and immediately was like, I want to start coaching again. So I've been coaching there for like 2.5 years now.
Very cool. I always wonder too about like, what's a Sunday meal prep look like for an Olympic athlete? Like how regimented are you in what you put in your body?
I think I'm not as strict as people would think. But like I said, like as I've gotten older, like you realize I've never been like super like I'm not eating dairy or gluten.
Sure.
But like as I've gotten older, you really like start to feel the crappy,
effect,
the effects of those like
low
low quality foods or like alcohol. So when I was training and, you know, I went to a wedding or something, I was like, I just feel like sluggish and it would take me a few days to bounce back. Because I hated the way it would make me feel, it was easy to make better decisions. But I when I'm training, I kind of like eat the same meals for like breakfast and lunch just because I know like I'm gonna have to be flipping in the air and I know what sits well. But dinners are always fun. Like I don't meal prep too often for dinner because I'm kind of like I'm gonna eat what I feel like eating at this point. So like if I prepped like chicken breasts and I'm like that doesn't sound good, like I don't want it to go to waste. So I usually would do like a meal service delivery, like HelloFresh or like Factor Meals, something that was easy. And that kind of taught me how to cook. And now I kind of just like keep it healthy, but also try to mix it up a little bit.
Makes me feel so much better.
Exactly. Like I'm a big foodie, so I want to enjoy the things I'm eating.
Especially
I don't want to
in this city, you have to be open
exactly.
to it, right?
I know.
You were born in Florida, raised in Texas. You went to school at Stanford. Now you're here in Philly. How do you end up in Philadelphia?
Funnily enough, my best friend from college, she played field hockey at Stanford, is from Philly, from Havertown. And so I would come visit her every summer, like since 2017, down in Sea Isle and in Philly. And I just kind of like fell in love with the people and the culture and the vibes that it gave off. And she always like wanted me to move here and live with her. And like, we always wanted to, you know, live close. So after the 2021 cycle, I had an injury and I was kind of, you know, looking for something new to switch it up, get out of Texas. And that seemed like the perfect opportunity to move here. And I came here and the rest is history. Like I fell in love with like the grit and heart of the city and like the unpretentious vibe. And I've been in these like high pressure, high performance situations my entire life. So I love to be in a city that like shows up and cares, especially for their sports teams. And they definitely care here, which is awesome.
I'm sure you've been to Eagles games and all that. Like,
oh yeah, my best friend's a family season ticket holder, so I've gotten to go to a couple games. I went to the Snow Bowl.
I was gonna say I saw that photo of you at the Snow Bowl. What was that? I mean, there's no better football game, generally speaking, than a Snow Bowl game, but it was also like playoffs. Saquon Barkley with the incredible runs.
Incredible.
That's so cool that you were there.
Oh yeah, it was amazing. One thing I do hate is I hate the cold. I was, you know, born, raised, and went to school all in the hottest states in America. But I wore like literally 5 pairs of socks, 4 pairs of pants, and so I was warm. I had these electric hand warmers, and I was in like the covered area, so like when the snow was dumping down, I wasn't getting wet. Like I had the time of my life at that game.
A pregame drink warms the body.
Yeah,
a little bit.
You got the beer coat on.
That's so cool that you were there. You also rang a bell at the Sixers game, and you banged the drum at a Union game.
Yes,
we have that in common. I actually did that too.
Oh my gosh,
that's like the apex of my career.
It was so fun.
It was so cool.
I was like so nervous for both of them because you're like, what if I mess it up?
Yeah.
But it's not that hard.
The drum is a little bit different because you got to keep the beat.
You got to keep exactly.
So you have to know how to play an instrument maybe a little
exactly.
bit.
And you have to like I think what is it like 8 rounds or 9 rounds? And I'm like, do I have to keep count? Like what happens if I mess this up?
Am I doing this right?
Are they going to boo me out of here?
Exactly. So you've gotten the full effect of Philly sports fans being in a building like that. 70,000 people for a playoff game.
Oh yeah.
Have you felt anything close to that in your career? Because when you're up there on the diving board, do you even hear it? You don't hear anything, right? Like you kind of block it all out.
Yeah,
it's pretty silent in the pool anyway. But
yeah, diving's like golf, where you're supposed to be like respectful and so quiet when they're diving, and then you can cheer after.
Yeah.
So no, I would say when you're in that 70,000 person stadium watching the Eagles, it's definitely different.
Yeah.
But I freaking love it. Like I love those kind of situations, and I love the passion that like Philly sports fans have. I feel like some athletes can't handle it, but I feel like the ones that belong in Philly like rise to the occasion.
Heck yeah. Did you do anything for the parade? Were you around for that?
Yeah, we went to the parade, which was awesome. Went to Broad Street after the Super Bowl W, which was awesome. My first time going to Broad Street after like a big game, because I do live in Fishtown, so it's hard to get to. But I will tell you, I did not make it home that night. Could not get an Uber, could not get on a train, so had to end up sleeping at one of my friends in Center City. But it was totally worth it.
This is a gallon. There are questions inside. We try to go through them as fast as we can and see. It's random stuff. Could be anything. Could be food, sports related. Do you want to give it a shot?
Okay, let's do it.
Grab one in there.
Just one?
Yeah, we'll grab one first.
Okay. So am I asking you or
we're saying it out loud and then you'll answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. How many times have you watched your silver medal performance? Like way too many times.
Really?
Probably 2,024 times. You catch my drift.
I get what you're saying there. That's pretty cool. Never gets old, does it?
Never gets old.
Gets
yeah,
old,
it still gives me goosebumps.
Oh, this is a good one because I came up with it. Would you rather dive into a pool of mashed potatoes, Skittles, or Peeps?
Mashed potatoes, for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Gravy?
Yeah, with gravy. It has to have gravy.
See, these are stupid questions.
No, I love them. All right. Favorite beach drink? It's a Orange Crush or a Two Moods, which is a seltzer. They have like two different strengths. It's called Chill and a Thrill. So like the chill is a 4%.
Is this the young kid? I don't know anything about this. I'm too old.
This is like one of my friends actually founded it. It's in Philly.
Oh.
But yeah, and then the thrills are 8%. So if you're looking for a good time,
oh man,
a thrill on the beach is
I don't want to
the
fall
way
asleep
to go.
on the beach though. I gotta stay up. All right, if you could win a medal in a winter Olympic sport, which would it be?
Ooh. Snowboarding, like half pipe, I think that would be cool.
That's
and
so cool.
It has a little bit of like diving aspects in it, like the flips.
Yeah.
I will say, I think their sport's much scarier because it's way more comforting to know you're landing in water rather than, I guess, snow is water but frozen. But
That is.
yeah,
it's true.
Much higher
hurts
chance of breaking your neck.
Yeah, it hurts.
Ooh.
I got two.
Yeah.
You can throw one back in there.
All right. Favorite TV show of all time? Game of Thrones. Easy.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
How many
I'm a big
times have
Game of
you
Thrones
watched
person. Way too many. Probably
the
at least
season like over and over again?
I've watched it through probably 6 times, and I've read the books.
You're all
yeah,
right.
and then I have my favorite seasons and episodes. That like I was actually rewatched some of my favorite episodes when I was at the Olympics like the night before.
Oh, very cool.
Battle of the Bastards is my all-time fave.
Do you have a favorite character from the show?
Yeah, I love Jon Snow, obviously, but I didn't like the way they ended his story. And like low-key character, I love Tormund, who's like the red-haired
okay,
wildling.
I think I know.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
he's funny.
Where do you keep your Olympic medal?
I keep it in this little sock. Well, they gave us a
Can
nice
you
carrying
pull it
case.
out? Can we
I'll
see
pull it
it?
out, yeah.
Look at that thing.
So this is like the back.
That's
and
awesome.
This is the front, which this
So you
is a
keep
piece
it
of
in
the
that-
Eiffel Tower. Yeah, so my friend Tom Daly, who's like a very famous diver in
Yeah.
Great Britain.
Yeah.
He actually went viral for like crocheting or knitting in the stands in at the Tokyo Olympics. So he made me one of these in Paris. But when I know I'm gonna like put it away for good, they did give us like a nice little like Louboutin carrying case, but it's like really
sick.
big.
Right.
So when I'm traveling, I'll just put it in this sock. Before I was putting it in a legit Nike sock because it keeps it
A
protected.
Nike tube sock? That's
Exactly.
awesome. That's so much nice. That's really cool. What do you say to yourself before you dive?
I usually
have a
tell
mantra?
myself like nice, calm, and relaxed because I tend to get a little like I'm a high energy person and I love adrenaline and that can sometimes be a bad thing in diving. So
Sure.
it's more about calming myself down. So like taking my belly breaths,
Yep.
making sure I'm slowing my heart rate down because I am a go-getter and
Yeah.
sometimes you just need to relax. It's a lot like golf where sometimes the harder you try or the more you think about it, the worse your swing or the worse your dive's going to be.
That's a great
So
point.
kind of just like shutting off and letting muscle memory take over.
I love that. Would you rather go to an Eagles game, Phillies game, or Sixers game?
Eagles game.
Yeah,
For
just because
sure.
of the energy is.
Oh yeah, it's unmatched.
Unmatched, right?
I do like baseball though. I think the Phillies are a fun team to watch, and you know it's a fun game. And now that they have like the pitch clock, it's not.
Are you a fan
5
now that
hours.
you're in? You're
Yeah,
You have to be,
Well,
right?
I've been an Eagles fan since like college
Okay.
because of my friend Marissa.
Yeah.
So we went to the Rams game. What was that? 2017, where Carson Wentz got hurt.
Oh, yeah, you were there.
Yeah, we were at that game because
about that?
we were in Stanford, so we just like
Right.
took like an hour flight, went to that game. And then when I first moved here, I was an Astros fan. So when they played them in the World Series, what was that? Like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I was an Astros girly. But
Should we edit that out? Yeah, we might have to-
probably, yeah. But no, I'm a full Philly sports fan now. You can't live here and not root for the Philly sports teams.
Agree 100%. All right, we got 3 more. Have you thought about diving into the Schuylkill or Delaware rivers?
You know, I drive by those often. I'm like, why can't people like boat or jet ski out there? And then you take a look at them, and you're like, that makes sense. So, I think for my safety reasons, I don't think I'll do that.
That's the correct answer. Yes. 2 more. Favorite restaurant in Philly?
I like Soraya in Fishtown. Fantastic. Their steak for two, their ribeye for two. It's absolutely
That place
amazing.
is unreal. You're not the first person to say that restaurant. I think Rodney McLeod from the ex-Eagles player said that as well.
It's so good, and their dips amazing.
Unreal. All right, last one. Cold plunge or sauna?
Ooh.
Which one?
I like them both. That's hard. I would say sauna because I hate being cold, but like I like the combo.
Yeah,
and
when you do it
if I
together.
cold plunge like on a day like today, and then I just go bask in the sun after.
Yeah.
I'll cold plunge all day. But
How long will you cold plunge for?
I used to do like 15 minutes in college and like training, but now I'll do just like a seven minutes. Yeah, depending on the temperature.
I'm in there for like 2 minutes. I'm like, get me out of here, please. This is the worst thing of
But
all
you have
time.
to, once you get past the 2 minutes, that's
That is
easy
kinda
because then
true.
you're numb and then you're just chilling. But like the first 2 minutes are the hardest.
You're literally chilling. Cassidy, our time is up. Thank you so much for coming in. That was so much fun. Thanks for playing along. And good luck with the decision for 2028. We hope to see you in LA.
Yeah, thank you so much.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right, ready?
Ready.
1, 2, 3, go. Wow, that was pretty good.
Yes.
Let's go.
Love it.
That was impressive.
Let's go.
All right, my protege.
Mm.
There you go.